Olivia had always been the dreamer, the artist, the one who never quite fit into the corporate mold her father had crafted. She adored her father but never expected to inherit his successful company so abruptly. His sudden death thrust her into a world she barely understood, filled with board meetings, financial reports, and unfamiliar faces. The weight of this unexpected legacy felt like a mountain on her shoulders. She had to navigate the murky waters of her father's empire, feeling woefully unprepared. Thrown into the deep end, Olivia's first few days were a whirlwind of introductions and condolences. Employees greeted her with a mixture of respect and skepticism, unsure of what to expect from the new, young CEO. She quickly realized that understanding the internal dynamics of the company would be crucial. Her father's office, now hers, was filled with echoes of his leadership style, but Olivia was determined to make her own mark, even if she wasn't quite sure how yet. The company, a sprawling enterprise with numerous departments and a vast workforce, was an enigma to Olivia. She spent hours poring over reports and meeting with department heads, but something felt off. The polished presentations and smooth explanations didn't match the subtle undercurrents she sensed. She needed to get a real sense of the company's pulse, to see beyond the surface-level facades that were so carefully maintained for her benefit. Late one night, after another overwhelming day, Olivia had an idea. She wanted to see the company from a different perspective, to understand the real experiences of her employees. The thought of disguising herself as a cleaning staff member seemed outrageous at first, but the more she considered it, the more it made sense. It would allow her to blend in, to observe without the pretense that came with her title. The plan was risky, but it was also the most direct way to get the answers she needed. Olivia's transformation was meticulous. She traded her business attire for plain, practical clothes and let her hair down from its usual polished bun. Armed with cleaning supplies and a resolve to learn, she stepped into her new role. As she moved through the hallways and offices, she saw her father's company in a completely new light. The grandeur and efficiency she had admired from the top floor took on a different hue when viewed from the ground level. The employees were different when they didn't know she was the boss's daughter. They laughed more freely, shared their frustrations openly, and revealed a side of the company she had never seen. Olivia listened to their stories, their grievances, and their joys. The cleaning staff, in particular, had a camaraderie that was both heartwarming and eye-opening. She realized that the true essence of the company lay in these everyday interactions, not in the polished reports and presentations. One evening, while wiping down desks in a dimly lit office, Olivia overheard a disturbing conversation. Mr. Reynolds, the charismatic but often distant manager, was speaking in hushed tones. The words she caught sent chills down her spine. He spoke of unethical practices, of manipulating employees, and even of mistreating one of their daughters. Olivia's heart raced as she absorbed the gravity of his words, her perception of him shattering completely. Olivia's mind was a whirlwind of emotions after that night. The revelation about Mr. Reynolds was a bombshell, and she didn't know how to proceed. She grappled with her conscience, torn between exposing the truth and protecting the company's reputation. Every interaction with Mr. Reynolds after that felt like a calculated game of chess, with Olivia desperately trying to mask her newfound knowledge. The weight of the secret threatened to crush her. Determined to do the right thing, Olivia knew she couldn't keep this to herself. The company her father built had to stand for something more than profit margins. Gathering her courage, she called a meeting with the board and revealed her true identity and the disturbing information she had uncovered. The room fell into stunned silence, then erupted into a cacophony of questions and accusations. Olivia braced herself, knowing this was only the beginning. With Mr. Reynolds exposed, Olivia faced the monumental task of purging the corruption within the company. She worked tirelessly, implementing new policies and programs to safeguard employee welfare. It wasn't easy. Resistance came from those who had thrived under the old regime. But Olivia's determination was unyielding. She knew that for the company to thrive, it had to be rebuilt on a foundation of integrity and respect. Olivia's efforts began to bear fruit. The atmosphere within the company started to shift. Employees felt safer, more valued, and the lines of communication opened up. She introduced training programs, ethical guidelines, and anonymous reporting systems. The transformation was slow but steady. Olivia's leadership style, rooted in empathy and fairness, began to resonate. She wasn't just the daughter of the former CEO. She was a leader in her own right. As the company continued to evolve, Olivia's initial fears and uncertainties gave way to a newfound confidence. She saw the impact of her changes reflected in the faces of her employees. The company wasn't just surviving. It was thriving in a way it never had before. The legacy her father left wasn't just about maintaining the status quo, but about creating a better, more ethical workplace. Olivia had found her place, and she was determined to honor her father's memory by leading with integrity. Olivia's journey from an overwhelmed inheritor to a confident leader was marked by trials and revelations. Each challenge she faced strengthened her resolve. The company's success was no longer measured solely by financial gains, but by the well-being of its employees. Olivia had transformed her father's legacy into something far greater. She had created a company where every voice mattered, where integrity was paramount, and where leadership was defined by empathy and courage. The story of Olivia's unexpected inheritance and the transformation that followed became a beacon of hope for other organizations. It showed that true leadership wasn't about maintaining power, but about uplifting those around you. Olivia's journey was a testament to the power of empathy, integrity, and the courage to do what's right, even when it's hard. And as the company continued to grow, so did the impact of her legacy, reaching far beyond the walls of the office she once viewed with trepidation. Olivia's decision to disguise herself wasn't made lightly. She realized that to truly understand her father's company, she needed to see it from the ground up. The polished facades and professional courtesies shown to her as the new CEO would never reveal the true workings of the company. So, with a determined heart, she chose to step into the shoes of the lowest rung on the ladder, a cleaning staff member. It was the only way she could genuinely observe and understand. The transformation was both physical and mental. Olivia donned a plain uniform, tied her hair back in a simple ponytail, and exchanged her heels for comfortable sneakers. She adopted the persona of a woman needing work to make ends meet. It was a humbling experience, one that stripped away her identity and forced her to see the world from a different perspective. She wasn't Olivia, the CEO, but Liv, the new cleaning lady, eager to prove herself. Walking into the office that first night was surreal. Olivia, now Liv, felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The familiar surroundings seemed alien under the guise of her new identity. She greeted the cleaning crew, who welcomed her with warm smiles and friendly banter. They didn't know her as the boss. To them, she was just another worker. It was in these simple interactions that Olivia began to see the heart and soul of her father's company. Her first tasks were mundane but revealing. Cleaning desks, emptying trash bins, and scrubbing floors gave Olivia a unique vantage point. She listened to conversations that took place in hushed tones after hours, saw the unguarded moments of employees, and witnessed the genuine camaraderie among the cleaning staff. These moments were a stark contrast to the polished presentations she had grown accustomed to in the boardroom. Olivia's evenings were spent blending in, learning the routines, and earning the trust of her new colleagues. She quickly realized that the cleaning staff had a unique insight into the company's dynamics. They overheard things others didn't and saw behaviors that were often hidden from the higher-ups. It was in these offhand comments and casual conversations that Olivia began to piece together a more accurate picture of her father's company. Despite her initial reservations, Olivia found herself enjoying the work. There was a simplicity and honesty to it that was refreshing. She was part of a team that valued her contributions, however small they might seem. Each night, as she pushed her cleaning cart through the dimly lit hallways, she felt a growing connection to the people and the place. It was a stark reminder that every role, no matter how menial, was essential to the company's success. One night, while cleaning an executive office, Olivia stumbled upon an unexpected encounter. Mr. Reynolds, the charismatic manager, was in a heated discussion over the phone. Hidden in the shadows, Olivia listened as he spoke with a venom she hadn't imagined possible. His words revealed a side of him that was ruthless and unethical, a stark contrast to the charming persona he displayed in public. Olivia's heart pounded as she realized the gravity of what she had just overheard. The following days were a whirlwind of emotions for Olivia. She couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal and anger towards Mr. Reynolds. The man she thought she knew was involved in practices that went against everything her father stood for. But as Liv, the cleaning lady, she had no power. Her only option was to continue observing, gathering information, and hoping she could find a way to confront him without jeopardizing everything. Olivia's disguise provided her with a front-row seat to the everyday challenges and triumphs of the employees. She saw the dedication of the night crew, the weariness in their eyes, and the small acts of kindness that kept them going. These were the unsung heroes of the company, the ones who kept the wheels turning without expecting recognition. It was a humbling realization for Olivia, one that deepened her resolve to make a difference. As days turned into weeks, Olivia's understanding of her father's company grew. She saw the cracks in the facade, the places where the veneer of perfection was wearing thin. The more she learned, the more she understood the need for change. The employees deserved better, and she had the power to make that happen. But first, she had to find a way to expose Mr. Reynolds without causing chaos. The tension mounted with each passing day. Olivia felt like she was living a double life, constantly on edge. Her interactions with Mr. Reynolds became a delicate dance, each word and gesture measured to avoid suspicion. She couldn't afford to slip up. The stakes were too high. The future of the company and the well-being of its employees rested on her shoulders. She needed to find a way to reveal the truth without causing irreparable damage. In her moments of solitude, Olivia would reflect on her father's legacy. He had built this company from the ground up, always emphasizing integrity and respect. She couldn't let his work be tainted by the actions of one man. The realization strengthened her resolve. She had to act, and soon. But how? The answer came to her one evening as she was cleaning the break room, listening to the familiar chatter of her colleagues. It was during one of these conversations that Olivia overheard a plan. The cleaning crew, unaware of her true identity, discussed ways to address workplace issues. Their courage inspired her. If they, with so little power, were willing to stand up, then she could too. Olivia knew she had to take a stand. It wasn't just about exposing Mr. Reynolds. It was about setting a new standard for the company. She had to be the leader her father had always hoped she would become. The night Olivia decided to act was filled with a mix of fear and determination. She knew the risks, but the time for hiding was over. With a deep breath, she made her way to the boardroom, ready to reveal her true identity and the disturbing truths she had uncovered. The fate of her father's company hung in the balance, but Olivia was ready to fight for the future she believed in. The journey was far from over, but she was no longer afraid. As Olivia settled into her role as Liv, the cleaning lady, she experienced a profound shift in perspective. The polished boardrooms and high-level meetings seemed worlds away from the late-night camaraderie of the cleaning crew. Olivia's nights were filled with small, significant moments, shared laughter, mutual support, and the unspoken bond of people working together. These experiences revealed the true heartbeat of her father's company, far removed from the corporate sheen she had known. Through the simple act of cleaning, Olivia saw the company's hidden struggles. The cleaning staff worked tirelessly, often invisible to the higher-ups, yet their dedication kept the company running smoothly. Olivia listened to their stories, understanding their hopes and frustrations. She realized that while her father's legacy included a successful business, it also comprised the everyday lives of these hardworking individuals. They were the backbone of the company, deserving of respect and fair treatment. Each evening, Olivia's interactions deepened her appreciation for the unseen efforts that sustained the company. She observed the contrast between the genuine warmth of the cleaning crew and the often superficial interactions among the executives. The night crew's resilience and camaraderie were a stark reminder of the values her father had instilled: hard work, loyalty, and integrity. Olivia found herself inspired by their strength and humility, qualities she vowed to honor in her leadership. Olivia's new role brought her face to face with the realities her employees faced. She saw the exhaustion in their eyes, the toll of long hours and demanding work. Yet, amidst the fatigue, there was a sense of pride in their tasks. These were not just jobs. They were lifelines, supporting families and dreams. Olivia's empathy grew as she shared in their experiences, feeling a deeper connection to the people her father had always spoken of with such respect. Her nights were filled with quiet revelations. Olivia discovered that the company's true value lay not in its profits or prestige, but in the lives it touched. The cleaning crew's stories were a tapestry of resilience, highlighting the sacrifices and perseverance of everyday people. Olivia's heart swelled with a mix of pride and sorrow, knowing that she had the power to make their lives better. Her father's legacy wasn't just about maintaining the status quo, but about creating a company that valued every individual. In her role as Liv, Olivia witnessed firsthand the disparities between the corporate and blue-collar worlds. The cleaning crew faced challenges that the executives rarely considered. Long hours, low pay, and a lack of recognition were common themes. Olivia's resolve to address these issues grew stronger with each passing night. She knew that real change required understanding and empathy, and she was determined to bring these qualities into her leadership. One evening, Olivia found herself in a poignant conversation with Maria, a longtime cleaning staff member. Maria spoke of her dreams for her children, her hopes that they would have better opportunities. Olivia was deeply moved by Maria's story, realizing that her decisions as a leader would directly impact families like Maria's. It was a moment of clarity for Olivia. Her role wasn't just about managing a company, but about shaping the future for countless individuals. Olivia's nightly routine became a journey of discovery. She saw the company from a grassroots level, understanding the intricacies of its operations and the human element that drove its success. The cleaning crew's work was often thankless, yet essential. Olivia's respect for them grew with each interaction, fueling her determination to create a more inclusive and supportive workplace. Her father's vision of a company built on integrity was becoming her mission. The more Olivia learned, the more she saw the need for change. The company's policies, while well-meaning, often overlooked the needs of its most vulnerable employees. Olivia's nightly observations provided invaluable insights, highlighting areas for improvement. She began to draft ideas for new initiatives, aimed at ensuring fair treatment and opportunities for all employees. The company's future depended on the well-being of its people, and Olivia was committed to making that a reality. Olivia's nights as Liv were a testament to the power of perspective. She saw the company through the eyes of those who rarely received recognition, understanding their struggles and triumphs. These experiences grounded her, reminding her of the human element at the heart of her father's legacy. Olivia knew that to honor his memory, she had to lead with empathy and integrity. The path ahead was challenging, but she was ready to face it with the lessons she had learned. Her time as a cleaning staff member wasn't just about observing, it was about connecting. Olivia formed genuine bonds with her colleagues, sharing in their joys and sorrows. These relationships reinforced her commitment to creating a better workplace. The cleaning crew's resilience and camaraderie became a source of inspiration, guiding Olivia as she prepared to take the next steps in her journey. She wasn't just the new CEO. She was part of a community. Olivia's experience highlighted the importance of seeing beyond titles and positions. Each employee, regardless of their role, contributed to the company's success. Olivia's nights in disguise taught her the value of humility and the power of understanding. She was more than ready to bring these lessons to the boardroom, confident that her newfound perspective would help her lead with compassion and effectiveness. Her father's legacy was safe in her hands. With her time as Liv coming to an end, Olivia prepared to reveal her true identity. She knew the transition back to her role as CEO would be challenging, but she was armed with the knowledge and insights she had gained. Olivia's journey was far from over. The real work was just beginning. She was ready to face the challenges ahead, determined to transform her father's company into a place where every employee felt valued and respected. Olivia's disguise had brought her closer to the heartbeat of the company, but it also revealed a darker side. Mr. Reynolds, the company's charismatic manager, stood out. On the surface, he was charming, always knowing the right things to say. Employees admired him, and his easy smile could disarm even the most skeptical. However, as Olivia observed him more closely, she began to notice cracks in his facade, moments where his behavior seemed manipulative and self-serving. Late one night, as Olivia mopped the floors near the executive offices, she overheard Mr. Reynolds in a tense phone conversation. His tone was harsh, his words laced with threats and coercion. Olivia's heart raced as she listened, piecing together the implications of his words. It became clear that Mr. Reynolds was using his position for personal gain, exploiting the trust and respect he commanded. The image of the competent, likable manager shattered before her eyes. As days turned into weeks, Olivia's observations of Mr. Reynolds painted a troubling picture. He frequently belittled employees in private, undermining their confidence and manipulating situations to his advantage. His public persona remained untarnished, but Olivia saw through the act. She noted the fear in the eyes of some employees when he approached, the way conversations abruptly ended when he entered a room. His influence was toxic, spreading a cloud of fear and uncertainty. One evening, while taking out the trash, Olivia witnessed a particularly disturbing scene. Mr. Reynolds cornered a junior employee, his voice low and menacing. The employee, a young woman named Sarah, looked terrified, tears brimming in her eyes. Olivia's instinct screamed at her to intervene, but she knew she needed more evidence before making a move. Her hands trembled as she continued her duties, the weight of what she had seen pressing heavily on her heart. Mr. Reynolds' behavior extended beyond intimidation. Olivia discovered that he had been misappropriating company resources, funneling funds for personal use. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just about unethical behavior. It was criminal. Olivia's nights were filled with restless sleep and a growing sense of urgency. She needed to protect the company and its employees from Mr. Reynolds' corruption, but the path forward was fraught with risk. The cleaning crew became Olivia's allies in her silent investigation. Unaware of her true identity, they shared their own encounters with Mr. Reynolds. Their stories were a tapestry of fear and frustration, each thread weaving a more complete picture of his misconduct. Olivia listened intently, her resolve hardening with each new revelation. She couldn't remain a silent observer forever. The time for action was drawing near, but she needed to proceed with caution. Olivia's interactions with Mr. Reynolds grew more tense as her investigation progressed. She maintained her disguise, but the knowledge she carried made every conversation a minefield. Mr. Reynolds, sensing something was amiss, began to watch her more closely. Olivia felt his eyes on her, a predator waiting to pounce. The stakes were higher than ever, but she couldn't let fear dictate her actions. The future of the company depended on her bravery. One night, while cleaning Mr. Reynolds' office, Olivia found a folder containing sensitive documents. Her heart pounded as she skimmed through the pages, each one revealing another layer of his deceit. It was the evidence she needed, but getting it to the right people without arousing suspicion was a delicate task. Olivia carefully copied the most damning documents, her hands shaking with the enormity of what she was doing. This was the turning point. With evidence in hand, Olivia knew she had to act quickly. She reached out to a trusted board member, arranging a clandestine meeting. Revealing her true identity to him was a gamble, but it was a necessary risk. The board member, shocked by her revelations, agreed to help. Together, they devised a plan to expose Mr. Reynolds without causing a company-wide panic. It was a delicate balance of strategy and secrecy, but Olivia was resolute. As the day of reckoning approached, Olivia felt a mix of anxiety and determination. The company was her father's legacy, and she couldn't let it be tarnished by Mr. Reynolds' corruption. The board meeting was tense, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. Olivia, no longer in disguise, presented her findings with unwavering resolve. The evidence spoke for itself, and the board's reaction was swift and decisive. Mr. Reynolds' reign of terror was over. The fallout from Mr. Reynolds' exposure was significant. Employees were initially shocked, but the truth brought a sense of relief. Olivia addressed the staff, acknowledging the difficulties they had faced and promising a new era of transparency and integrity. Her words resonated deeply, a beacon of hope in a time of uncertainty. The path to rebuilding trust would be long, but Olivia's commitment to change was evident. She wasn't just speaking as a CEO. She was speaking as someone who genuinely cared. In the days that followed, Olivia worked tirelessly to implement new policies and safeguards. She knew that real change required more than just words. It required action. Employee welfare became a priority, with new programs designed to support and protect them. The company's culture began to shift, moving away from fear and towards empowerment. Olivia's leadership was a breath of fresh air, inspiring confidence and optimism among the staff. Mr. Reynolds' departure marked the beginning of a new chapter for the company. Olivia's journey from undercover cleaner to decisive leader was a testament to her strength and resilience. She had faced the darkness within her father's company and emerged victorious. The experience had changed her, deepening her understanding of what it meant to lead with integrity. Olivia was ready to continue her father's legacy, armed with the knowledge and empathy she had gained. Olivia's story spread beyond the walls of her company, becoming an inspiration to others. She demonstrated that true leadership was about more than maintaining power. It was about making difficult choices and standing up for what was right. Her courage in exposing Mr. Reynolds and her commitment to her employees set a new standard. Olivia's father would have been proud. She had not only upheld his legacy, but transformed it into something greater. One fateful night, while Olivia was cleaning the executive offices, she stumbled upon a conversation that would change everything. Hidden behind a partially open door, she heard Mr. Reynolds talking in a low, urgent tone. His words were chilling, filled with venom and threats. Olivia's heart raced as she pieced together the meaning of his sinister remarks. He was admitting to heinous acts, speaking of manipulating employees and even harming the daughter of one. As Olivia strained to hear, the reality of Mr. Reynolds' true nature sank in. He wasn't just a corrupt manager. He was a predator, using his power to exploit and intimidate. The revelation was a punch to the gut, leaving Olivia reeling with shock and anger. She knew she had to act, but the path ahead was fraught with danger. Her hands shook as she quietly moved away, the weight of what she had overheard pressing heavily on her conscience. The days following her discovery were a blur of fear and determination. Olivia replayed the conversation in her mind, trying to grasp the full extent of Mr. Reynolds' depravity. She felt a burning need to protect the employees from his malevolent influence. The stakes were higher than ever, and Olivia couldn't afford to make a wrong move. Her disguise had given her invaluable insight, but now it was a race against time to gather concrete evidence. Olivia's interactions with Mr. Reynolds became a high-stakes game. She had to mask her knowledge, keeping her facade as live intact while covertly gathering more information. Every encounter with him was a test of her composure. His charm was now a thin veil over a darkness she could clearly see. The tension was palpable, with Olivia constantly on edge, aware that one misstep could expose her and jeopardize everything. Her undercover role provided a unique vantage point. Olivia noticed the small, telling signs of Mr. Reynolds' manipulation. The way employees cowered in his presence, the hushed whispers that followed his departure, the fear etched on their faces. These observations were crucial, forming a mosaic of evidence against him. Olivia's resolve hardened with each passing day, driven by the need to protect those who couldn't defend themselves. One evening, while cleaning an office, Olivia found a document carelessly left on a desk. It was a record of transactions, hinting at Mr. Reynolds' financial misdeeds. Her pulse quickened as she photographed the document, adding another piece to her growing case against him. Each discovery fueled her determination, but the enormity of the task also weighed heavily on her. She needed a strategy, a way to expose him without causing a company-wide crisis. The pressure mounted as Olivia continued her double life. She felt the strain of maintaining her disguise while planning her next move. Her moments of solitude were filled with frantic strategizing, each decision fraught with risk. Olivia knew she couldn't do it alone. She reached out to a trusted ally within the company, revealing her true identity and the horrors she had uncovered. The ally, shocked but supportive, agreed to help her navigate the treacherous waters ahead. Together, they devised a plan to bring Mr. Reynolds to justice. It required meticulous planning and absolute secrecy. Olivia's ally began to quietly gather additional evidence, while Olivia continued her undercover work, ensuring she didn't arouse suspicion. The tension was unbearable, but the stakes were too high to falter. Olivia felt a mix of fear and hope, knowing that every step brought her closer to exposing the truth. The night of the planned confrontation arrived. Olivia's heart pounded as she prepared to face Mr. Reynolds. She had armed herself with enough evidence to ensure he couldn't escape accountability. As she entered the boardroom, the air was thick with anticipation. Mr. Reynolds, unaware of what was about to unfold, greeted her with his usual charm. Olivia met his gaze, steeling herself for the battle ahead. With a deep breath, Olivia laid out the evidence before the board. The room fell silent, the gravity of her revelations sinking in. Mr. Reynolds' mask slipped as he realized the extent of his exposure. He tried to deny, to deflect, but the evidence was irrefutable. The board members, initially stunned, quickly moved to action. Mr. Reynolds was escorted out, his reign of terror finally over. Olivia's bravery had paved the way for justice. In the aftermath, Olivia addressed the company, her voice steady and resolute. She spoke of integrity, of creating a workplace where every employee felt safe and valued. Her words resonated deeply, offering a beacon of hope. The company's culture began to shift, driven by Olivia's commitment to transparency and fairness. Employees, once fearful, now felt a sense of empowerment and optimism. Olivia's leadership marked a new era for her father's legacy. Olivia's journey had come full circle. From an overwhelmed inheritor to a courageous leader, she had transformed her father's company with her integrity and determination. The terrifying discovery of Mr. Reynolds' actions had tested her limits, but it had also revealed her true strength. Olivia knew the road ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face it with the lessons she had learned. Her father's legacy was safe in her hands, and she was poised to lead with honor and empathy. After exposing Mr. Reynolds, Olivia was left grappling with a whirlwind of emotions. The weight of the discovery lingered in her mind, a constant reminder of the darkness that had festered within the company. Each day, she struggled with the burden of what she had uncovered. The image of Sarah's terrified face haunted her, pushing Olivia to confront the ethical dilemma she now faced. She knew she had to act, but the potential fallout was daunting. Olivia's nights were filled with restless thoughts, her mind a battlefield of conflicting emotions. She felt a deep sense of duty to protect her employees, yet the fear of shattering her father's legacy loomed large. The responsibility weighed heavily on her shoulders. Each decision she made could either heal or further fracture the company. Olivia sought solace in her memories of her father, drawing strength from his unwavering commitment to integrity and fairness. As the days passed, Olivia found herself torn between her role as a leader and her desire for justice. The company's reputation was at stake, and she feared the repercussions of a public scandal. Yet, the idea of remaining silent was unbearable. Olivia knew that the true measure of her leadership would be her ability to face these challenges head-on. She couldn't allow fear to dictate her actions. The employees deserved a safe and just workplace. In quiet moments, Olivia sought guidance from trusted confidants. They offered perspectives that helped her navigate the murky waters of her dilemma. Some advised caution, fearing the impact on the company's stability. Others encouraged bold action, believing that true change required transparency. Olivia weighed their words carefully, her mind constantly shifting between the need for decisive action and the potential consequences. The internal conflict began to take a toll on Olivia's well-being. She felt the strain of the dual roles she had been playing: Liv, the empathetic cleaner, and Olivia, the decisive CEO. The line between the two blurred, creating a sense of disorientation. Each day was a struggle to maintain her composure, to project confidence even as doubt gnawed at her. Olivia knew she couldn't continue like this. A decision had to be made. Olivia's determination grew as she considered the broader implications of her choice. The company wasn't just a business. It was a community of individuals whose lives were intertwined with its success. Her father had built it with a vision of integrity and respect. To honor that legacy, Olivia had to ensure that the company reflected those values. She couldn't allow Mr. Reynolds' actions to define its future. The path forward required courage and a steadfast commitment to doing what was right. As Olivia wrestled with her decision, she found unexpected sources of strength. Conversations with employees revealed their resilience and hope for a better future. Their stories of perseverance in the face of adversity fueled her resolve. Olivia realized that she wasn't alone in this fight. The employees were counting on her to lead with integrity. Their trust was a beacon, guiding her through the darkness of her internal conflict. The tipping point came during a heartfelt conversation with Maria. Maria spoke of her fears and hopes, her voice trembling with emotion. Olivia listened intently, feeling the weight of Maria's words. In that moment, Olivia's path became clear. She couldn't let fear paralyze her. The company needed a leader who was willing to take risks for the greater good. Olivia knew that she had to act, not just for herself, but for every employee who depended on her. With a renewed sense of purpose, Olivia began to formulate a plan. She would address the board, presenting her case with unwavering resolve. The evidence against Mr. Reynolds was irrefutable, and Olivia was prepared to stand by her decision, no matter the consequences. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but the stakes were too high to back down. Olivia's commitment to integrity would guide her through the storm. The day of the board meeting arrived, and Olivia felt a mix of anxiety and determination. She stood before the board, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she spoke, her voice was steady, each word carrying the weight of her convictions. She laid out the evidence, her gaze unwavering. The board members listened in silence, their expressions shifting from shock to understanding. Olivia's resolve was clear. She was willing to do whatever it took to protect the company's future. In the wake of the meeting, Olivia felt a sense of relief and empowerment. The board's support bolstered her confidence, and she knew that she had made the right choice. The internal conflict that had plagued her for so long began to dissipate. Olivia's focus shifted to the task of rebuilding, of creating a culture of transparency and trust. The journey ahead was daunting, but Olivia was ready to face it with the strength she had found within herself. Olivia's decision to act was a turning point for the company. Her commitment to integrity inspired a renewed sense of purpose among the employees. They rallied behind her, ready to support the changes she was implementing. Olivia's leadership marked a new era, one defined by honesty and respect. The company began to heal, its wounds slowly mending under her guidance. Olivia's internal conflict had given way to a powerful resolve, setting the stage for a brighter future. As Olivia reflected on her journey, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The challenges she had faced had tested her limits, but they had also revealed her true strength. She had honored her father's legacy by standing up for what was right, even when it was difficult. Olivia knew that the road ahead would still have obstacles, but she was ready to face them with courage and integrity. The company's future was bright, and Olivia was determined to lead it with the same unwavering commitment that had guided her father. Olivia stood before the boardroom, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. The weight of the decision she was about to make pressed heavily on her shoulders. She had spent countless nights wrestling with the implications of her actions, knowing that the future of her father's company depended on her courage. Today was the day she would reveal the truth, no matter the consequences. Taking a deep breath, Olivia began to speak, her voice steady and resolute. The room fell silent as Olivia presented her findings. She detailed Mr. Reynolds' unethical behavior, the manipulation, and the financial misconduct. The evidence was irrefutable, each document a testament to his corruption. Olivia's eyes scanned the faces of the board members, seeing a mix of shock, disbelief, and anger. She felt a pang of anxiety, but her resolve remained unshaken. She had to do this, for the sake of the company and its employees. As Olivia finished her presentation, the room erupted into a flurry of questions and accusations. The board members debated fiercely, their voices overlapping in a cacophony of emotions. Olivia stood firm, answering their questions with calm clarity. Her confidence in the truth of her findings gave her strength. She knew this moment was pivotal. It was her chance to prove that integrity and courage could triumph over deceit and corruption. In the midst of the heated discussion, Olivia's ally on the board, Mr. Anderson, stood up. He had been instrumental in helping Olivia gather the evidence, and his support was crucial. Mr. Anderson's voice cut through the noise, calling for order. He spoke of the need for accountability and praised Olivia's bravery. His words brought a sense of calm to the room. The board members began to listen more intently, their anger giving way to thoughtful consideration. The decision to expose Mr. Reynolds had not been an easy one, but as the board deliberated, Olivia felt a growing sense of empowerment. She had faced her fears and stood up for what was right. The board's unanimous decision to remove Mr. Reynolds and initiate legal proceedings was a victory for justice. Olivia's heart swelled with relief and pride. She had honored her father's legacy by upholding the values he had instilled in her. With Mr. Reynolds gone, Olivia's focus shifted to rebuilding the company. The path ahead was daunting, but she was ready. She knew that real change required more than just removing a corrupt manager. It required a complete overhaul of the company's culture. Olivia began implementing new policies and programs to ensure transparency, fairness, and employee welfare. She wanted every employee to feel valued and respected, creating a workplace where integrity thrived. Olivia's leadership brought a fresh wave of optimism to the company. Employees, once fearful and demoralized, began to feel hopeful. Olivia's open-door policy encouraged them to share their concerns and ideas. She listened to their stories, drawing from their experiences to shape her decisions. The transformation was slow but steady. Olivia's commitment to integrity and empathy resonated deeply with the staff, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. The impact of Olivia's courageous decision extended beyond the company's walls. Her story became an inspiration to other leaders and businesses. She demonstrated that true leadership was about more than maintaining power. It was about making difficult choices and standing up for what was right. Olivia's journey was a testament to the power of integrity and the importance of creating a supportive and ethical workplace. Her father's legacy had evolved into something even greater. As the company continued to grow, Olivia remained dedicated to her mission. She knew that the journey was far from over, but each step forward strengthened her resolve. Olivia's leadership was a beacon of hope, guiding the company through turbulent times. The challenges she had faced had tested her limits, but they had also revealed her true strength. Olivia had become a leader in her own right, honoring her father's memory with every decision she made. Olivia's transformation from an overwhelmed inheritor to a decisive leader was complete. The company she had once viewed with trepidation was now a source of pride. Her commitment to integrity and fairness had laid the foundation for a brighter future. Olivia's journey had been marked by trials and revelations, but it had also been a journey of growth and empowerment. She was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in her ability to lead with courage and compassion. The company's new era of integrity and respect was a testament to Olivia's unwavering dedication. She had faced her fears, made the hard decisions, and emerged victorious. Olivia's story was a powerful reminder that true leadership required empathy, integrity, and the courage to do what was right, even when it was difficult. The company's future was bright, and Olivia was determined to honor her father's legacy by continuing to lead with the same values that had guided him. With Mr. Reynolds' corruption exposed and him removed from the company, Olivia faced the daunting task of rebuilding. She knew that real change required a deep transformation of the company's culture. The first step was to establish new policies that promoted transparency, fairness, and employee welfare. Olivia worked tirelessly, crafting guidelines that ensured every employee felt valued and respected. Her vision was clear: to create a workplace where integrity thrived and everyone had a voice. Olivia introduced a series of initiatives aimed at fostering a positive work environment. She implemented anonymous reporting systems to empower employees to speak up without fear of retaliation. Regular town hall meetings became a staple, providing a platform for open communication between staff and management. Olivia's commitment to transparency and inclusivity began to resonate throughout the company, slowly building trust and morale among the employees. One of Olivia's key priorities was to address the financial disparities within the company. She conducted a comprehensive review of salaries and benefits, ensuring that compensation was fair and equitable. Olivia also introduced new training programs to support career development and growth. These changes were not just about improving employee satisfaction, but also about nurturing a culture of continuous learning and improvement. The company was evolving, becoming a place where everyone could thrive. Olivia's efforts extended beyond policy changes. She understood the importance of leading by example. Her daily interactions with employees were filled with genuine interest and empathy. She made it a point to visit different departments regularly, listening to concerns and celebrating successes. Olivia's approachable demeanor and willingness to engage with all levels of staff reinforced her commitment to creating a supportive and collaborative environment. The impact of her leadership was palpable. The transformation was not without challenges. Resistance from some quarters was inevitable, as change often threatened established norms and comfort zones. Olivia faced pushback from those who had thrived under the old regime. However, her unwavering commitment to her vision and her ability to inspire others gradually won over skeptics. Olivia's authenticity and determination were infectious, fostering a collective sense of purpose and unity among the employees. As the company's culture shifted, so did its performance. The renewed sense of morale and engagement among the staff translated into higher productivity and innovation. Employees felt more connected to their work and more invested in the company's success. Olivia's focus on ethical practices and employee well-being created a strong foundation for sustainable growth. The company was not only surviving but thriving in a way it never had before. Olivia's leadership style became a model for others to follow. Her emphasis on integrity, empathy, and transparency set a new standard in the industry. The company's success under her guidance attracted attention, inspiring other businesses to adopt similar practices. Olivia was invited to speak at conferences and industry events, sharing her journey and the principles that had driven the company's transformation. Her story became a beacon of hope for those seeking to create ethical and inclusive workplaces. One of the most significant changes Olivia implemented was the creation of an employee advisory council. This council, composed of representatives from various departments, provided a direct channel for employees to contribute ideas and feedback. It was a tangible demonstration of Olivia's commitment to inclusivity and collaborative decision-making. The council's initiatives led to numerous improvements, from enhanced work-life balance policies to innovative sustainability practices. The employees felt a sense of ownership and pride in their contributions. The impact of Olivia's changes extended beyond the company's immediate workforce. The community around the company began to feel the positive effects as well. Olivia launched outreach programs and partnerships with local organizations, supporting education, healthcare, and environmental initiatives. The company's renewed focus on corporate social responsibility strengthened its reputation and created a positive ripple effect. Olivia's vision of a company that valued both its people and its community was coming to life. As the company continued to grow, Olivia remained steadfast in her commitment to her father's legacy. She never lost sight of the values he had instilled in her: integrity, respect, and a dedication to doing what was right. Every decision she made was guided by these principles. The challenges she had faced had forged her into a resilient and compassionate leader, capable of steering the company through both calm and stormy waters. Olivia's journey had come full circle, and the company was stronger for it. The transformation of the company under Olivia's leadership was a testament to the power of ethical leadership and a compassionate approach. She had turned a moment of crisis into an opportunity for profound change, creating a workplace where everyone felt valued and empowered. Olivia's story was an inspiration, a reminder that true leadership was about more than just making decisions. It was about making a difference. Her father's legacy had not only been preserved but had flourished in ways he would have been proud of. The company's new era was marked by a culture of integrity and collaboration. Olivia's vision had become a reality, and the future looked brighter than ever. Employees walked the halls with a renewed sense of purpose and pride, knowing they were part of something meaningful. Olivia's leadership had transformed the company into a beacon of ethical practices and employee well-being. The journey had been challenging, but the results were undeniable. Olivia had proven that with courage, empathy, and unwavering integrity, true transformation was possible. As Olivia's journey culminated in the profound transformation of her father's company, she had not only honored his legacy but had created a new one. Her courage, empathy, and unwavering commitment to integrity had turned a crisis into an opportunity for lasting change. The company now stood as a beacon of ethical practices and employee well-being, a testament to the power of compassionate leadership. If you've been captivated by Olivia's story, there's another tale that's bound to intrigue you. Picture this: a young man, carrying the cherished necklace of his late mother, walks into a job interview. As he meets the gaze of the CEO, the air thickens with tension. The CEO is paralyzed upon recognizing the necklace. What secret does this piece of jewelry hold, and how will it alter the young man's fate? To unravel this mystery and witness another heart-stirring story, just click on the video that's appearing on your screen now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to continue receiving these emotional and inspiring stories. If you'd like to support us in bringing you daily tales that touch the heart, check out the fixed comment below for a link to buy me a coffee. Your contributions help us keep these stories coming.